Hey, what's up, my lovely people? How you all doing? I do hope that you guys are doing well with your families in this global economic crisis. Please hang on. Everything is going to be okay. I am right out here in my neighborhood park. It's a bit windy and chilly, so I am freezing. But I've got something to tell my Nigerian people and the global community in general, because I'm tired of all the gaslighting and all the dog whistles and misrepresentations about the Igbos in this particular 2023 election. First of all, I am an Igbo from Anambra State, a middle-aged Nigerian, and the one that studied history. I have a BA in history in my bachelor's degree, but since then, the Nigerian government, politicians have removed history education from Nigerian education curriculum to keep young Nigerians in the dark, and they successfully did that because a lot of young Nigerians are not aware of history, and this is why I want to put records straight. So I will try to keep this video as short as possible because I am out here in the park and it's freezing. First of all, I like to start from describing the geographical location of the Igbo people of Nigeria. They are located on the southeastern Nigeria, right on the east of Niger River, on Onitsha and Asaba axis. And you all know that Niger River is the third longest river in Africa. So Igbo people are mostly businessmen and women, investors, entrepreneurs, traders. They are educated, they have professionals and technocrats and all of that. So let me brush a bit about Igbo people's socio-cultural and political history. So historically, Igbo people don't have kings, they don't have monarch. They are self-represented, they are people's represented. So this is why the British colonial masters have incredible difficulty controlling the Igbo tribe during the colonial rule. And so they sought to impose the warrant chiefs on the Igbos. That, of course, didn't work. They are not the people that have a figurative head in the name of a king or a monarch to speak for them. So they fought for it. So the warrant chief project wasn't successful in Igbo. Even in the present day Igbo society, they're still having troubles with the current kings that is called Igwe. They don't even listen to their kings. They do whatever they want to do. They speak their mind. So how does Igbos take care of their issues during the historical times? Okay, we have a community gathering in a community square where every man speaks for themselves, speaks on behalf of their families, okay? And everyone comes with a solution with whatever the problem is, and at the end of the day, they will reach consensus on how to solve the problem. So yeah, it's a democratic society by history. So when you hear about the popular Igbo greetings that says Ndi Igbo kweno ya kwezono yo, this is the way the Igbos greet themselves in our traditional community meeting. Okay, so this is how we roll. So I want us to understand that. Also, Igbos have the minds of their own. We just don't rally behind any Igbo person because they are Igbos. No. If that person have no character, or they are shady, or they have baggages or anything that we know about, we're going to call them out. So it's surprising, like when people said that Igbos don't support themselves, Igbos don't do this and that. No, we will not support our own when we know they are crooks, when we know they are criminals, when we know they have no character. That's just not how we do our things. And when our own is good, is excellent, we will rally behind them, just as we are rallying behind P2P. So I just want to make it clear. So let me also touch a bit of the history of the Civil War. Igbos was in the middle of the Civil War in Nigeria between 1967 to 1970. It was a war between the Igbo tribe and the Hausa Fulani, represented by Nigerian government under General Gowon. And it was a 3-year conflict that resulted in the genocidal murdering of Igbos. 2 million or 3 million Igbos died in that war, not just by bullets. They died by starvation that is orchestrated by the British colonial masters. Remember, the British colonial masters just left 7 years before the war. The war ended in January 15, 1970, and Igbos lost all of their investment, all of their properties, and the money in the bank. Every Igbo man was given £20 to start life all over. So in the decades preceding the Civil War, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, Igbos held their head down to start rebuilding everything that they lost. And they successfully rebuilt with £20. Now they have investments all over Nigeria. So they drive the Nigerian economy. Everybody knows that. This is not even disputable. They were marginalized after the Civil War, disenfranchised, discriminated and segregated. This was the realities of Igbo, and they decided, to focus more on rebuilding their economy and rebuilding themselves while everybody else in Nigeria became president. And the Igbos will go out there to support presidential candidates of other tribes. They will campaign for them and they will support them and vote for them. Igbos voted for Olusegun Obasanjo, who is from the southwest part of the country, a Yoruba. Voted for Umaru Yar'Adua, who's from the north. They voted for Buhari. They voted for Goodluck Jonathan. Everybody else, okay, and it was fine. But may God forbid if any person from Igbo extraction tried or attempted to get on Nigerian presidential ticket, and all hell let loose, and there's been all name callings on Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of Labour Party. He has been labeled an IPOB president, Igbo president, blah blah blah, when there is no any probable cause to believe that Peter Obi is any of the names that they are calling him. He is the most tribalized Nigeria, tribal neutral. He's about pro-Nigeria and a Nigerian project, okay? All this guy wants is to fix Nigeria because the people have suffered incredibly. So he wants the best interest of Nigeria, and the political establishments were all there, calling him names. And surprisingly, some young people and some middle-aged Nigerians are following in these lies and this falsehood to, accuse Peter Obi of what he is not. This guy is a unifier. He's an embodiment of empathy and love, okay? And everybody is seeing that. But because Nigerian people does not know their history, they tend, to believe what these self-serving, criminal, wicked politicians are telling them. So, yeah, that being said, even in 2019, all the Igbos voted for Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate now, and everything was fine. It's not about IPOB, it's not about Igbo, it's not blah blah. 53 years after the war, Igbos has been heavily marginalized, discriminated, in Nigerian politics, and some people are just okay for them to continue to be in that status. Igbos are naturally born Nigerians. They have equal rights just as anybody else in that country. But here we go. That being said, the same hypocrites that has been labeling Peter Obi all kinds of names on the book, said nothing about the PDP, the People Democratic Party's presidential flag bearer, Atiku Abubakar, who is a northerner and who has been running for Nigerian presidency since 2007 and have been losing and failing and been coming back. So this time around, he decided to corruptly hijack and truncate the presidential ticket that is supposed to be routed to the southern part of Nigeria as a part of Nigerian federal character, that rotates presidency from the northern region to the southern region. Make no mistakes about it. The current incumbent president is a northerner, is a Fulani, so he has taken 8 years of northern quota in the presidency. Mr. Atiku Abubakar, used his money to buy the presidential ticket that was supposed to go to the south. He wants to be a president for 8 years after Buhari. So altogether, it's going to be 16 years for Hausa Fulani in a country that has 371 tribes. Now this is the problem in Nigeria. The injustices, the inequity, the unfairness, disenfranchisement of other people, and some certain part of Nigeria who believe that they are born to rule, they are naturally entitled to Nigerian presidency. This is the heart of what is heating up Nigerian politics. But Atiku Abubakar didn't care, because it's not about Nigeria, it's about himself, it's about grabbing power. And still, some Nigerians that knows the history, that knows the truth, okay, are still out there supporting him. Nobody said pim about this. How are we going to have 16 years of Fulani presidency? Are they the only tribe in Nigeria? But apparently, Nigerians, especially the middle-aged and elder Nigerians and some politicians, didn't see any of this. While Nigeria is being crashed down to the rubble because of these factors. But they don't care, because it's all about them. Then again, the presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is also running on the mandate of injustice and inequity, okay? This time on the religious ground. The same thing that is dividing Nigeria. He's running on Muslim ticket. This is not how Nigerian presidency is structured, again based on our good old federal character. The Nigerian presidency is structured Muslim Christian ticket, because guess what? Nigeria has about 50% of Muslims and 50% of Christians. So usually it has to be either the president is a Muslim and the vice is a Christian, or vice versa. This is also for every part of Nigeria to be represented in Nigerian presidency. How does Bola Tinubu think that Nigerian Christians are going to trust his administration? But he don't care. Again, it's about him. It's about grabbing power by every possible means. Even if they're going to set Nigeria ablaze, they don't care. But Nigerians like me knows the truth. They know about all of this, while overlooking these factors. So with this kind of ticket, people, does anyone expect any peace in Nigeria? Okay? Absolutely no. I see crisis coming up in Nigeria if that ticket is successful. The same goes with the Muslim ticket. Okay, it's not going to work. Nigerians are 50% of Christians. They will never ever trust that administration. This is going to heat up the fragile Muslim-Christian relation in Nigeria. How are Nigerians quiet about this? These are the things that matters. These are the things that every Nigerian should be screaming on top of their voice. This stuff is already crashing Nigeria to the rubble. This is the problem. We have these selfish, self-serving politicians that want to bury Nigeria, continuing on the same factors that is dividing this nation. And Nigerians are okay. They're not screaming about it. Some Nigerians are supporting them while calling Peter Obi Igbo president, when he has not done anything to show that he's pro-Igbo. He's a unifier. He's a young people's, candidate of choice. A man of good character with no corruption history. Nigerians are the architects of their own misfortune. Nigerians are their own greatest nightmare. We are liars. We are selfish, self-centered. We are out for ourselves. No element of national development, no element of sacrifices for the nation. As long as we benefit from the status quo, as long as we benefit from the old orders, we will knowingly support what is going to destroy Nigeria. And that is what is going on right now. And if these old criminal politicians, the PDP and APC, succeeded, in winning this election, you will need to kiss goodbye to Nigeria. When are we going to stop burying our head on the sand? Look at what's going on in Lagos. All the political violence and voters' intimidation, like a community leader or a king threatening residents, to vote Bola Tinubu, and yet Nigerians, politicians, and elder Nigerians are not saying anything. Look, like how the youths who are fighting for better Nigerians were ambushed and stabbed in Lagos on their way to a political rally. And nothing was said because it's a country of liars that hated the truth, a country that every man and woman is out for their pocket. And with this kind of attitude, Nigeria is not going anywhere. Honestly, if P2B does not win this election, I will work on the military coup in Nigeria, because this so-called democratic experimentation is not working in Nigeria. Imagine the Supreme Court threatening the general public for criticizing them, okay? And reminding us what is the legal implication. I wish that the Supreme Court of Nigeria threatened politicians that has been looting Nigerian money and Nigerian wealth, actually lock them up. No, but they are pro-politicians. It's a politicized court. They feel obligated to release a statement threatening Nigerian general public and the media for criticizing them. This is a classical definition of dictatorship. So there is no democracy in Nigeria. I like to use this platform to shout out and to thank one of our founding fathers, Pa Ayo Adebanjo, the leader and the chairman of Pan Yoruba socio-cultural group, who's standing on equity and justice in this election cycle. He's been vocal and he's been trying his best at the age of 94 or 95 to redirect this nation. I also want to thank Chief Edwin Clark of Niger Delta. These are our founding fathers and many other eldest Nigerians speaking because they have witnessed this country right from the inception in 1960, okay, to the war and to up to this point. They understand Nigeria more than any one of us. And these elders have used their platform, their voice, to speak about the ills and the rots of the society. Thank you so very much, our dear fathers. I am praying for good health, strength, and renewal to each and every one of you. God will surely grant your heart desires for this nation, and you shall live to see the new Nigeria. The posterity and history shall be very kind to your legacy. We, the sane-minded Nigerians, appreciate you so much. Thank you. May God replenish every energy. It hurts me to see Pa Adebanjo at 95 on the microphone, speaking with every energy in him. It hurts me. I don't know how he does it at 95, that advanced age, just to see that Nigeria is on the right direction. Thank you, Papas. We will never forget. We will forever remember. Thank you. Thank you so much, my people. I appreciate your time. Please kindly subscribe and hit the like button. Let's grow the channel. Thank you so much for supporting me. Appreciate you all. Love you. Stay blessed. I will see you in the next episode. Peace.